impossible to win the game of Dota. So at this point, they like quintuple down on, or quadruple down on making this Lycan's game a living nightmare. They have 2 heroes he can't approach. They have a 3rd hero who punishes him when he groups up. And then they have a 4th hero in the Wind Ranger that doesn't really die to him or his summons. So what I'm looking at is a lot of weight to be carried by the Queen of Pain and the Viper. And I think it's all going to be resting on how this mid lane goes. And if the Queen of Pain manages to be like a level 2 ahead and invade the farm of the Monkey King, then that's their, I would say, win condition here.
Sure, because as you say, you know, a lot of things that are going to make this game hard for the Lycan. Over on the side of Smashers, I mean, we saw obviously last game Ace have a beautiful time on the Riki. As the Monkey King in this match, I mean, is there much that he's going to have to worry about, or do you see the potential for Ace to pop off again?
I think he's perfectly fine once he gets to that BKB point. The early to mid game, he'll have to be a bit cautious. But I like what they're doing to set up his game here, where basically the Undying pick, I think, is really bad against the Monkey King, but it was meant to like enable the Lycan to have a better laning phase against the Tidehunter. And they're just going to put the Tidehunter safely and put the Monkey King against the Undying. So I thought that was something that I think is a bit punishable when you have a hero that's meant to do one thing, but it's not that great against one of the other heroes in the game. Is teams, it seems like they've got the strategical part of the game down on Hellbear Smashers. They're just going to adjust. And I really like, because Monkey King matches up very well in lane against Lycan as well. So I think that all the cores on the Radiant side are going to get the start that they need.
Yeah, I mean, and with the way the lanes have ended up, I mean, would you have liked to see No Bounty Hunter try and, you know, sort of switch it back up themselves so they end up in a different lane scenario, or can they just not really do that?
In my opinion, Viper only really has one way to play the lane, and that's to just use his W and push it in consistently. I think that mechanic of any hero that shoves the lane really hard isn't that great in their own safe lane. So personally, because it's the Viper, I don't think they have much of an option to swap it up. I don't think Lycan's game is going to be like horrible by any means. As you see in the early game, he's getting off to a decent start. But it's more so like who does he kill with his Necro Books? You know, like where's his timing? That's what I'm skeptical of. And I'm always happy to be proven wrong, man. That means I learned something. We've talked about that, you know, and it turns out that the more wrong you are, the more you learn. So that's been my approach to try to learn as much as possible throughout these tournaments.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, yeah, we'll see if Khan is able to show us how it can be done in, as you say, a game where it's not an easy one on paper for the hero as a whole. So far, what do we have going on the other lanes? Mid lane seems to be a pretty close trade at the moment in farm. Neither hero struggling too much. And bottom lane, same to be said here between Blink and Rasmus. Both of them having a fine old time. We are seeing Stormstormer getting pretty low. How's he doing for region? Okay, still got a salve and a mango, so Stormstormer is fine. And Enterkey has the bottle coming out on the courier. So, on top lane, so you're going to try to go towards Flash. Ace was starting to head over, but Flash doing his best to keep the distance. Is now out of mana regen himself, though, Flash. So won't have too much more to offer up until that courier makes its way out. Does have 2 mangoes en route.
Yeah, I love playing Shadow Shaman against the Undying. Generally speaking, you just go for the boots first and hit them a lot. And the nice thing about this hero also in the mid game is you can plant your wards on top of the tombstone and they'll kind of just kill it for you. So I think any hero that doesn't have to hard commit or inconvenience themselves to kill the tombstone, such as like PL with his illusions or Shaman with his wards or Visage with his birds, they're all very nice to play later on in the game against the Undying, because the whole thing about the tombstone is we control this area, we're supposed to take it over, you can't fight into us, sort of thing. And I think the Monkey King ring plus the Shadow Shaman wards really does a good job of countering that in team fights.
And I imagine in this game overall, when you do look at No Bounty Hunter's lineup, I mean, how much pressure is going to be on them to sort of get ahead and stay ahead at the start? Like, is this a lineup that could be sort of played from behind?
No, I think. I really do think Lycan's about the pace of the game. I don't think his game necessarily needs to be amazing, but his overall team comp needs to have map control in order to feel good on this hero, as this is a good start to what I was hoping for. Quick
Yeah.
win condition and no bounty hunter as the Queen of Pain gets first blood mid, and meanwhile the Viper does go down. Does have 5 stacks on the Tide. Will it be enough? No. Looks like the Kraken Shell dispelled it, but yeah, the co-op momentum this game, it's not just the Lycan, right? I would say Queen of Pain is the perfect example of a mid laner where if she falls even slightly behind, the hero feels day and night different than when she's basically allowed to gank wherever she pleases.
Yeah, some nice stuff here from Fabian, making sure that Enteki, after getting the bottle out, was able to grab himself that refill. So keeping Enteki in a great place mid. And just little things like getting that kill is it's going to get Enteki that quicker timing on the 6. Can then look to make the rotations with down bottom. Blink. Going for Tofu. He's got the burn ready to grant him that potential to fly up to the high ground though. So Tofu makes it away. See how the farm's looking for Khan up top. 22 for 8 against the 16 and 3. So Khan continue to not do too bad a job at all here farming in this top lane.
Are we going to get to see Ice 2.0 here? #1 net worth, 5.5 minutes in. The safe lane Tide Hunter by 400 gold already. So this hero with that start can be insane to deal with. They have break mechanics, but I think what makes this Wyvern pick so nice is that Kyle was talking about how usually Tide likes to sit in front of the towers and defend them, and the Nyx makes that quite difficult. But because the Wyvern can just cold embrace the Tide through the duration of the break and save him from getting bursted, I think that he's enabled to do his job by that pick despite being countered.
Yeah, for sure. And we saw Tofu last game on the Venge. Very good at getting that positioning to offer up those sort of saves. So likewise, I expect to see the same here in this game with those embraces. Top lane Ace and Gilga going for flash. They'll be able to take him out. Not a lot he can do against the two of them. Down bottom, getting aggressive onto Rasmus. They will find the Tide. Stormstormers try to come in with the counterplay. Lead him with the focus fire onto Blink, but Blink is going to go away with the TP. Shackle, of course, still on cooldown after he threw it earlier into the trees. So he'll make it out of there. Over towards mid, Enteki trying to claim the kill on Tofu. He has got the Sonic Wave if he wants to, but won't use it there to attempt to burst the kill.
Dire's structures are fortified.
As Tofu
This
will
Shadow Shaman has... He just got passed back, but he had more net worth than the Wind Ranger. Both mid laners are kind of crippled, it seems like. Oddly enough, they're the 5th and 6th net worth, respectively, at the 7-minute mark. So looks like a lot of war of attrition in the mid lane, a lot of sustain used, a lot of battling rather than CSing. Tends to happen with heroes like Queen of Pain that try to bully you out of lane. But I was almost expecting it more with the Viper lane, as we see the Queen of Pain does inevitably commit on the Wyvern. One of the most annoying, pesky supports when it comes to trying to pressure a tower. The Wyvern, you kind of have to just get rid of her, as Stormstormer does get ulted bottom.
Now TP's going to come in, but already, yeah, Fervy and a Blink running him down. A toe with the power shot, but boom, Fervy gets the kill. And now they've got the grab in return onto Blink. Jump forward as well from the Monkey King with the Boundless Strike out to the two of them. He's bringing them low, but not quick enough to save Gilga, as Gilga goes down as well. No Bounty Hunter getting the 2 kills down here. And Ace just having a run. He's very low. He's looking over towards Fervian, but Fervian's still got mana to play with. Ace cannot get back in on this. As 8 minutes in, 5-2. I mean, no Bounty Hunter off to a much better start than what we saw in the previous match here, as they're getting a lot of moves done.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a map distribution problem for Hellbear Smashers. I think bottom lane is the lane nobody wants to be in against Viper, and it's by the Wind Ranger putting herself there. I'm not going to have time to talk as Lycan ultimates in the mid lane, chasing down the Wind Ranger, as looks like this might be an early tier 1 mid if they can get it.
Oh!
Tide's not even here.
Oh no, the Quap! Enteki runs straight back in, was not ready for Gilga to be waiting with the shackles and the hex. Just ends up feeding his life away, and now back into the river. Ace. He's chasing down Flash, so as quickly as No Bounty Hunter start to get some momentum together and head towards the mid, they lose that Queen of Pain.
Yeah, I think they just have to leave this Viper alone, basically. Wind Ranger being bottom, being like the playmaker for the team, but putting herself against the Viper is a problem for me because it's kind of forcing her team to come there. As Viper now TP's top, I think it's time to get out. Like, you just let this guy defend his tower, you now go pressure mid instead, but it looks like he's just content to stay and die. Okay.
I mean, the tips are coming out for that one. Yeah, can't.
Yeah, that's definitely a tip worthy. You have an easy get out of jail free card by just TPing there. They're not dealing with the Viper very well. I'll say that right now. The Viper, he's playing his hero properly, but that's mainly by just putting yourself in the right area and say, walk at me, guys, and that's what they've been doing thus far.
Now mid lane, Ansky jumping, his Sonic Wave clips onto Gilgas, and it's enough damage to get him there with the nuke damage from Flash. Open up the rip, turn with the power shot, but won't quite clip onto Ansky. Again, much more of a brawling lineup and something that no Bounty Hunter can provide this time round. Flash heads in, takes out a sentry ward. It's going to cost him his life though. As Tofu with the body blocks leaves no chance for Flash to escape. Bounty runs up, Ace. He's been spotted by Fervian. He's quickly out into the trees. Fervian.
They're the same level. Fervian's the same level as Ace here on the Monkey King, so under-leveled carry performance. No, not like performance-wise, but because he was stuck in the off lane, enabling his Tidehunter. Monkey King is only level 6, 10.5 minutes in.
Yeah, much.
They do get the mid tower with those Serpent Wards, though, so the support's getting levels.
I mean, they are, yeah.
The Shadow Shaman might be an X factor here.
And Gilga going to pop the smoke. So immediately look to try and make a move into the jungle of No Bounty Hunter by the looks of it, but No Bounty Hunter right now split up elsewhere. Can't. Able to take the tower. Rasmus leading the charge with Ravage at the ready. See what they can find here. Blink is in the jungle, and you know, as we've seen, Viper's been having a pretty good game, so taking Blink out will be rather nice.
Huge kill if they get it.
They've got the lockdown and they've got the damage. Shackle into the power shot. And they take him out, putting a stop to you know, Blink that he was on track to getting a very quick Rod of Atos. So putting that item down for a little longer. And also able to take this tier 1 tower as well with that move. Cleaning out the jungle and knowing that No Bounty Hunter in no position to hold off this.
They are looking to collapse on mid, though. They see the Tidehunter top. He has very low mana. He's going to TP in. He's barely going to have enough for Ravage because he has a Clarity going, but it might be too little too late. As, nope, they look like they're just going to be content to take the tier 1 tower. That's really good for No Bounty Hunter. I think they should be good with this. I don't think you fight into this Tidehunter Wyvern.
Yeah, 11-minute tower taken down in the mid lane. That's definitely fitting with the pace they want to play with this carry Lycan. Taking over as much of the map as they can right now when the heroes are hitting these sort of strong timings before that of Hellbear smashes and Fervian. Trying to scout things out. Gilga staying well hidden in the trees. Should be fine here. No real wave smashes getting any deeper, but they're already 12 minutes in and No Bounty Hunter able to play pretty deep and aggressive on Hellbear's half of the map.
Has been killed.
There's Gilga. It's going to drop the wards.
Okay.
And it will allow him to get the kill onto Fervian. Balance strike out onto the two of them. And that's going to be 3 heroes dying for that dive. Definitely a step too far there from No Bounty Hunter going into the trees to get the kill on Gilga. Losing 3 heroes for that effort.
Yeah, that's just not something you can do with your heroes that aren't the Queen of Pain, because all of your other heroes, if they get caught, they're going to die underneath tower. Like, the type of heroes that like to make the move they just made are ones that, like, have some sort of mobility that if the enemy team responds, you just leave, right? In this case, you will get punished for your overextension. The counter-initiation potential from Hellbear Smashers in this game is absolutely insane, so they have to be very careful of overextending. Monkey King narrowly got his tree dance canceled by the Wolves. Might have been in some trouble if that did happen. Necrobook 3 finished on Lycan. So it looks like he's hitting the timings he needs. Like, I just have mixed opinions on this because it's like he's hitting the timings. He has Necrobook 3, but it's just not that great against the enemy heroes. Maybe it even might get turned against him, as Moxie said on the panel. Tofu does get purged up, forced to use his Arctic Burn to escape, but I don't know. I think they're content with what's going on the map with Hellbear Smashers. I think the timer is on No Bounty Hunter, and if they don't get something done drastically, I think in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I don't see how they take this into the late game, because all of their heroes require fighting into the opponent.
The Tofu. He ends up dying to the Necrobooks of the Wolves inside the base. He couldn't save himself.
I wasn't even looking.
Yeah, they chased him all the way from his jungle right up to the base, and he was sort of on his own. There's no one else helping out to try and give him that extra chance. But yeah, we see again on the replay, poor old Tofu. Just nothing
Yeah,
that
gets
can
all
be
of his
done.
mana burned while he's cold embraced, so he can't even like curse to save himself. That's like the most demoralizing way to die, I think. The guy didn't even use his real hero, man.
No, he wasn't even anywhere close. Just sending the summons right after Tofu and getting on with his life. Top lane, Gilga dropping the wards down onto this tier 2 tower, grabbing the creep wave away. Doing quite a lot of damage to it here. 14 minutes in, some pressure back from Hellbear Smashers onto No Bounty Hunters half of the map. Blink will come across, take away these wards, and the rest of No Bounty Hunter are around. Can't again sending forth the Necro Book.
Queen of Pain almost done with the Orchid. Gives them a little bit of kill threat that they don't really have. They have like the Nyx Assassin, a Scout, but not the best follow-up as of yet. Looks like Hellbear Smashers want to find the Viper TP'd here, so they know he's stuck.
Yeah, they've caught him
They're
straight away.
happy to get this kill.
Immediate catch to start the action. So get the kill. Necro books in onto Gilga. He's going to need some help. And he'll get it. They'll be able to take down the summons just in time. Still very low. And actually, he may still dodge the range one here. They're trying to hunt for him. Rasmus will turn things around with the Ravage. Catches onto Flash. Khan tries to charge back in. But the ultimate there from Tofu holds him in place. And he's just dying inside the Wukong's command as Ace cleans up the double. The grab as well. Gilga holding back Fervian before Fervian was able to snipe him on the back of the team fight. As with the Viper included at the start, that all is 4 down on No Bounty Hunter, and Hellbear Smashers losing nothing there.
I'm sure all my fellow Lycan players out there have had to learn this lesson many a time. There are some games where you just have to accept that literally never can you fight into the opponent when they are all there. Like, at no point in this game is that going to work, I don't think. If they have Tide Ravage, if they have Winter's Curse, if they're all there, this Lycan, this is exactly what his life is going to look like. I don't see any exception to this. I don't see like any items he'll ever buy, any timings he'll ever hit that changes that. So definitely have to be a bit careful there, as this time he's learned his lesson. Will it be enough to get out? No. Dies in his fountain. In case he had a rapier, though, like we saw with Arteezy, he does die in the fountain rather than
True.
You know, in the middle of the river. So there's something to be said for that. He's getting his rapier TP practice in there.
I can only hope. It's been a long time since we saw the right-click Tide.
Dude, the right-click Tide's awesome, man. Like the Ag Shard, I'm like, I have to believe when I saw that come out that there's some viable build for this, but most of the time you're just so much better being this beefy frontliner with Vlads and Pipe, and in this case he's going Lotus Orb. It's just so much. It's pretty much your job in the game, and one of the best heroes at doing it. So sadly, in professional Dota, it's probably just a pipe dream to ever think of Tide with Daedalus and Rapiers.
Yeah, I guess even when you get sort of to the late game Tide, it's still, there's other things you want to be doing for your team, unless you happen to have drafted the safe lane Tide, but you know, as a position one, but probably not something we'll get to see, unfortunately. But hey, who knows? You know, we might see some crazy developments as the league goes on. Bottom lane.
Honestly, I've seen crazier things.
Yeah.
I've heard crazier things. So he is on top of a ward on Ace. I don't know if he knew they saw him ahead of time, but I
mean, he's ticking down pretty low to the poison. He's going to go for the TP out, and he's away. Nothing to put an end to it.
I just learned a mechanic. I did not know whether I was wondering, because his clones were killing the Necrobook 3 as he was leaving, his soldiers, his Monkey King soldiers. And I was like, is he going to take the feedback damage from that? Because if he did, he would have died. So I have just learned that he is not considered the source of damage for his clones. So he did not take the feedback. Did not know that, though.
Stormer trying to lean on to Fervian. They've got the grab. There's the shackles coming out. But the silence is there from Entski. Jumps in with the Orchid. Ravage being popped by Rasmus to lock down Fervian. But Rasmus himself very low, and Blink's moving in with the poison starting to stack up onto Rasmus. Rasmus trying to run, and this relentless assault here from Blink will allow him to get the kill. Ace finishes off the Undying. And again, it's this Viper moving in and getting the damage done, continuing to have some very good farm on the Viper too. And only 1k gold in it right now, 14 to 11 between the two sides. Again, just sort of compared to what we saw from No Bounty Hunter in the first game this series, this is looking to be so much better from them, as they're bringing a very strong fight and still hitting the timings. You know, Khan he's doing fine on this Lycan. As you said, there was that sort of one fight where he ran into the 5 of them where mistakes were made, but other than that, he's still managing to find his farm.
Yeah, there's lessons we always got to relearn sometimes in Dota, and not being able to fight in them as Lycan is one of them. As Nyx manages to barely cancel Stormstormer's TP here.
It's a big TP cancel.
Shane stuns him. Yeah, that's a big kill.
Yeah.
He's struggling. Look at his net worth compared to the other cores in the game. Wind Ranger. This was a 10th pick Wind Ranger. I think this is one of the reasons why people tend to lean away from Wind Ranger in competitive. She is feast or famine in the sense that she either can solo kill everybody or this is her game. So looks like he's not chosen, but has to deal with being the latter here.
I mean, what do you think was the reason for the Wind Ranger pick? Like in this sort of game, what do you think Stormstormer was looking at, saying, you know, this is the hero that I want to run in the mid?
I think it was because they needed some guy that was willing to rotate, and he saw Lycan and Viper, like 2 cores that the only way they really kill you is just by right-clicking you a lot. So he's like, okay, I want a survivable like rotator, and Wind Run is like a really effective tool this game. I think that was the idea behind it. I don't like hate the pick at all. No. I just think it's tough to make work. And if you ever like misstep a couple times, like he had that one death early in lane, I think she just looks day and night. Like I said it earlier about Queen of Pain, but Wind Ranger is the same thing. She doesn't have some flash farm mechanic. Even with a Maelstrom, she farms pretty slow in comparison to a lot of other mid laners. She's just kind of scrapping for farm. Did get the nice Grove Bow though. That'll help her out a lot. And this moment of this like period of stagnant, I don't know if it's good for No Bounty Hunter, but they seem content with it. I think they might be waiting for the Assault Cuirass on Lycan, 400 gold away. But they're just gonna walk into Roche, and with the Serpent Wards down, the Ags Monkey King Soldiers, the Tidehunter Ravage available, the Winter's Curse available, I just can't imagine this being anything other than free.
That certainly looks to be that. There's Ace. Grabs the Aegis, straight over towards the mid lane. Tofu already looking for the setup. Using the curse here on to blink to buy time for the rest of the team to head over. I will be a little spooked by the fact that Flash shows himself and the rest of No Bounty Hunter are around, so Smashers won't push any further. Still very strong though with this Monkey King Aegis. And No Bounty Hunter are going to have to think very carefully about how they want to try and run into the fight if they do want to. There is a DD rune down bottom. And Curse is down, so maybe something that No Bounty Hunter can work with.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page as Hellbear Smashers here, though. It looks like they're kind of just not doing much, but I think they realize, like, if this game goes to 40 minutes plus, they just can't lose. So they're just letting nothing happen in the game. They're gearing up to defend all of their objectives. They have the Tidehunter plus Wyvern combo sitting in front of tier 2 mid, like we talked about earlier. They have the Shaman just casually farming bottom, and they're just basically gearing up to counterplay whatever No Bounty Hunter is going to try to do. Here they are, 5-man smoked. Will they manage to catch somebody out of position? Wind Ranger appears to be the most likely, but no, they actually want to invade the triangle. Tofu has Blink Dagger. Does he really want to be the guy in front?
Fervian, I mean, he's going to get the easiest 2-man stun there onto the bow for them. Gets both Rasmus and Tofu. I mean, that's just an easy way for Fervian to begin things off. Now over towards the side. Silence down to Stormstormer. He's trying to hide in the trees, turns with a power shot, but he's going to get beaten down. DD's up on Enter Key, and they get the 3 kills. They were not ready for that at all there, as Fervian's just able to close and get the perfect opening.
So I absolutely see what they're going for. They are both camping the high ground to try to break the smoke, coming from mid lane, but they just wrapped around, and I'm not gonna lie, like, I think it's pretty unacceptable for Wyvern's positioning to be within Nyx impale range of Tidehunter. You know, like, how can they both get hit by the impale? He has Blink plus save with Winter's Curse as counter initiation, as well as Cold Embrace on the Tide, so I think that's just bad positioning there.
Over to the side, Gilga. He's going to drop the Serpent Ward.
This is a nightmare.
I mean,
ward trap.
Too many wards to deal with, as he will go down. Gilga being protected by the Cold Embrace. Blink is trying to go for the Monkey King. And AC's just dying to this poison. He's ticking down very, very low. He will live. The curse comes out to control the BKB Quap. As Ace still alive, jumps over towards the trees, but the nuke finds him. Entity's able to take him down the once, get rid of that Aegis. See what Smashers are able to do with the second life on Ace. Doesn't look like anything is. With no Banshee, they did buy back on Flash, but still they won't look to push any further. Happy with just taking away that Aegis for now.
Yeah, they're more than happy with that on the no bounty hunter side. The last series of events, the funny thing is though, it looks like so much has gone right for them and the net worth kind of just remains the same, about even, deadlocked 25 minutes in. Bounty runes are spawning, and I think the big part for going into the late game here for no bounty hunter is that Co-op turns herself into a carry. I think if they have another hero that scales, dishes out enough of a threat that they have to be fearful of her enough so that the attention is drawn away from the Lycan, that really could be a way that they may be able to take this game a bit later. And he has the BKB Orchid, so he already is going carry-esque items. I'd love to see something like a Scotty or Mjolnir here for him, since he's already got the Assault Cuirass on Lycan. Tide queuing up the Blink. Pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, we'll see what
The bottom lane.
Ensky does go through. Yeah, some pressure now starting to come in. The push of the Necro books. And yeah, not only the blink on Rasmus, but also now the BKB on Stormer. So Smashers, some 2 core items to make the moves around. See if they're able to catch no Bounty Hunter off guard. Those the last few times, no Bounty Hunter's done a good job of being the ones to set up the action. Now here's the smoke. Smashers starting to head through the route of no Bounty Hunter's jungle. No Bounty Hunter well split up on the map though. We see Fervian pushing out the top lane. Down bottom, Blink as well, keeping the other side lane pushed in. Can Smashers get a jump off this smoke? Seems to be.
Yeah, the lanes
hard.
are just bad for them here.
Yeah.
That's kind of the problem. Summon's pushing mid, Viper pushing bottom. Nyx just got done pushing top. Very telegraphed move. That is the benefit of Lycan at this stage, is that even though you can't fight into them directly, your hero does have the tools to make it difficult for the opponent to get the fight they want. So they are. I like the way no bounty hunter's playing right now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, making sure that they don't leave any sort of openings for Smashers to jump in from. And really forcing Smashers to react to this pressure. Blink continue to sit down here outside of the base. And the rest of his team right behind him on Hellbear Smashers half of the map. Fervian also with his Blink done, they can look to come in with the counterplay.
Queen of Pain is queuing up a Lincoln Sphere. That's like a pseudo carry item in the sense that he is like prioritizing himself, trying to survive in fights, allow him to dish out more damage by the sake of not being as afraid of the Shadow Shaman Insta-Hex and the Winter Wyvern Curse. But I think it's his next item that will really define what role he wants to have going into the late game here.
And do you like
well,
this?
They have the Ag Shard on Lycan.
I was going to say, is you know, for Lycans, are we seeing this much, or is this sort of more of a rarity? How sort of the shards
I think if you get to the
rated?
point in the game where you can't really fight the opponent like this,
Yeah.
that it's very nice. Just because the Howl working on your wolves makes it so the lane automatically pushes, as Blink might be in some trouble here.
He's going to have the Ghost Scepter to protect himself from the focus fire. Fervian steps in with the control on the Stormstormer. Stormstormer getting very low, pots the BKB, but it's too late. It's already too low, gets taken out. Ace with the Wukong's command and the follow-up control from Rasmus's Ravage will get both of the kills onto Flash and Entity in response. But Blink still pretty ready to continue fighting fit. Another good stun from Fervian onto the 2, and then they're pushing back the Monkey King and the Tide. Blink stepping forward, trying to fight him with the Ghost Scepter, but he's very low. As the Ghost Form ends, Gilga's wards take him down. So no bounty hunter. They really tried to force it there. They do get the 3 for 3 with Tofu buying back. But a fight where Ace prevails, and again continuing to have this game where, you know, even with all the kills around him, he still is yet to die himself. 6-0-5 on the Monkey King, and really hitting his stride now with the items that he has picked up. The BKB Ags Maelstrom, he's got the sort of core as the Monkey King, and his scaling, as you know, we've been saying, is just going to continue in a way that's going to be very hard for the cores of no bounty hunter to keep up with.
I will say there was a nice lesson to be learned for all the viewers at home. There's definitely multiple uses of a... Oh, wow. Fervian gets the stun top. Looks like he's just going to be content to back off. But there's multiple uses of a BKB. You can kind of use it reactionarily where they go on you and you pop it, or you have to preemptively use it. And the heroes that you have to preemptively use it against are ones like Nyx and Shaman that instantly disable you, that burst you full to 0. Windranger held her BKB when she went on the Viper, lost 90% of her health before getting hers off. Queen of Pain went on the back lines and then got insta-hexed and blew up before her BKB was used. So I think everyone's getting a little bit of wake-up call this game. Maybe some nerves are coming out, but we need some preemptive BKB usage, guys.
I'll see Tofu instantly dropping the sentry, sets his Fervians around. No hesitation with using the curse to make sure that there's no chance for a play to be made. The Necro books being sent in over towards Gilga as they're forcing the Shaman right back. Ace and Stormstormer looking to hold their ground with the ultimates. But this time around, no bounty hunter. They're off to the side. Big boundless strike does come crashing down onto Flash and Blink. Blink popping the ghost step to go for the TP out, but Gilga is able to get back in, offer up the Hex to put that TP to an end. And 3 dead on no bounty hunter. This will give the opportunity for Hellbear Smashers to go straight into the pit. Gilga drops down the wards, and they'll be able to claim this Roshan whilst 3 are dead on no bounty hunter.
Yeah, we saw this story, I feel like, in the first series of the day, where one team just has immensely better team fight than the other. In Division 2 Dota, I really do believe that the team that has the superior team fight will almost always win as the game goes on. It is so incredibly difficult to constantly make like baity plays, like where you're kiting them around and like taking a fight indirectly and forcing them to split up and then fighting. On the other hand, with Hellbear Smashers, if they ever are allowed to fight as 5, it's almost always going to go well no matter what happens. So, you know, Kyle loves the whole press all your buttons and you guys win team fights, drafts, and I definitely give that heavily in favor of Hellbear Smashers here. He is going for the Mjolnir on Monkey King. I was curious if he was going to consider the Gleipnir. I do like that item on him a lot more than other carries.
I feel like we've seen a very little Gleipnir action really across the board. I mean, how do you sort of rate this side? I mean, when you are playing these carries, like the Monkey King, I think we saw it like on Matu's Bloodseeker the other day. When are you going for...
You're gonna let him die? Oh my god, he's let him die!
He did? Could he not have done anything to keep him alive?
He had to cold embrace instantly. He didn't think he was going to take down to the meteor hammer there.
And they'll get further in response, but Tofu's also going to die for this. They've got the Atos tower onto Ace. He's also going to fall.
Syndrome.
They just die one by one here. I mean, he has got the Aegis ready for round 2.
Yeah, you pop BKB.
Yeah, he's still holding on to that BKB charge. There it is. They'll turn with the Boundless. Entity's up to the high ground, forcing back Gilligan with the Orchid. As he's keeping the Shadow Shaman very, very low. Out in the trees, Ace goes. Ace getting away. Entity just jumps forward to blow him up with the Sonic Wave. The twos, they're also being in onto this Tide. Tide's got to get back. They've got to use buybacks. As Gilga buying back there against the pressure of no bounty hunters just diving in. And just a little bit sloppy there from Hellbear Smashers, losing 1 after 1.
They're just not dedicating the right heroes to the right resources. Your Windranger should never be a lone bottom defending a tower. Like, she power shotted, got carapaced on the power shot, quite easily done by the Nyx. Did a great job of following it up with the Impale into the Meteor Hammer. And that's just something you can't afford this stage in the game. These deaths are incredibly costly, pretty much just prolonging the game if you're ever going to win it. And this is exactly the type of pressure that no bounty hunter needs to be creating. This pressure on the opponent dead lane is exactly what causes them to split up. This is like in Dota 101. Khan doing a great job of applying that pressure to the bottom lane, consistently forcing reactions. And it's what I love to see in these type of games. It's an awkward game, but if you can consistently make the opponent... It's forced errors, right? It's the Windranger messing up, but it wouldn't be happening if Lycan wasn't doing his job properly. As Shaman bites the dust again. That was a buyback, so he's dead for 75.
A decent amount of time here where no bounty hunter can play to the numbers advantage. Keeping this pressure up on the bottom lane. And they go with the summons. Of course, with that Necro book working through the tower very quickly. They have to pop the fortification, Hellbear Smashers. Keeping them pushed back for now. And, certainly a close one, 22 to 23, and no bounty hunter still able to keep things for Fervian. Tries for the opening. Does get caught by the shackle though, and with the focus fire, there's nothing his teammates can do to help him.
Could be worse. Oh, wait, no, it couldn't.
Actually using a smoke as well, no bounty hunter to quickly disperse themselves back across the map.
In terms of score, this is about as even as a game can get. Less than 1K net worth, 23 to 23. Don't see that too often, 34 minutes in.
No, and as you say, still with it being even, you do sort of look towards the prospects of Hellbear Smashers line up in a bit of a better light as the game does go later. But at the same time, I mean, Hellbear Smashers, they're making a few mistakes, and if they do keep that up, you know, if we get to this position where one of their heroes down without buyback, this push from the Lycan crew is going to come in and it's going to break the base.
Yeah, their win condition is absolutely forced errors. Like, that's how no bounty hunter is going to win this game.
Yeah.
What you just saw there, where they feed one by one because you're pressuring their towers and they're not quite prepared for it. That is exactly how Lycan wins Dota at this stage in the game. And if we see more of that, quite potentially, even though I think the Radiant lineup scales better, Dota is a game where there's a lot of theory you can pump out, but the game has to be played, and it has to be played properly for the theory to even matter. And I'm curious to see if Lycan even ever goes for an Ags here and makes his Quap another Lycan, basically. She is going from the Winkens into a Mjolnir, something I was really hoping to see.
Yeah, that's what you wanted, right?
Yeah. I like what No Bounty Hunter's doing here. I think the vision they have of how they can win this game is accurate. And I know I keep sounding so skeptical, but they're making it happen. Hellbear Smasher smoked up. Find the Undying. That's not the kill you necessarily want, but better than nothing. But they have to respond to bottom as Lycan's Wolf alone is pressuring.
And Calm does get found by Ace, but BKB and the TP out is there before anything can come into play to stop it. As you say, they're going to have to really put in the effort, Hellbear Smashers, to push one of these lanes back round and to keep getting a great rune here for the next fight. DD rune in the bottle. Yeah, 3,800 gold to start spending on the components for that Mjolnir. He wants to have those ready for the next engagement. Top lane, tier 1 tower, should be easy takings for no bounty hunter, so continued money to flow in for them.
Yeah, these Radiant heroes do not function well independently. So none of them can really defend towers alone. We've seen it time and time again get punished, and it's making it difficult for Hellbear Smashers to ever force an engagement. And I see the line. I see it for no bounty hunter. I like what they're doing. The Queen of Pain turning into this carry. Like, if she gets that item plus maybe one more damage item up, she's scary. And I want to see that like an Ags, man. Third Roche. I want to see it. I want to see a Queen of Pain moving at 700 move speed and critting.
I mean, it's pretty terrifying. You know, that's
it is.
When you have this sort of hero coming at you, and you know, we've seen so far, Entiki's been doing an excellent job with sort of finding those targets and getting the squishies first in these team fights. And he's going to have that extra amp up now from the backup of Blink, full E-Blade, done on the Viper. So another way to burst through his heroes and, of course, provide a little bit of protection if he wants to as well for them against the Focus Fire and the Wukong's Command.
He's queuing up the MKB. It looks like he wants to just remove Wind Ranger from the game. On the Queen of Pain side here. As Fervian does potentially get caught. Abyssal out of the Wyvern. He's going to go down. Nope.
Oh, Tofu is able to get the force off. Actually, he manages to make it away. They're still sending the units in upon him, but they won't get the damage done. Stormer is able to get the catch on to Flash. But yeah, Tofu very lucky to get out of there. As he was very close to getting taken out. Ace is on with the chase. He's got the bash up. BKB won't provide Blink the safety to get out. He'll turn, drop his combo down onto Ace, bringing Ace pretty low, but Ace is able to hide in the trees whilst the rest of his team finish the kill off. And now jumping up quite a bit in the lead here. 5k advantage for Hellbear Smashers with those sort of kills coming into play. Level 25's being hit too. And it's also soon to have the money to build into that Nullifier to help work against this E-Blade that the Blink's trying to play around with to keep people safe.
Tofu's setting up. He can break the Lincolns with his W. Nope, doesn't have time. That would have been a really crucial pickoff. They almost 100% would have killed him there with the follow-up Boundless Strike from Ace. Oh, here they go. This is exactly what they're looking for on the Queen of Pain.
Yep, there's the Ravage to follow things up. Rasmus making sure that Khan doesn't get a chance to put the BKB. Stormer runs down Flash. And now that's Khan down for 70 seconds. He does not have the money available for buyback with the creeps moving in. Hellbear Smashers, they'll at least get this top set of racks. Maybe even more. I mean, 3 heroes down and no Lycan for a full minute.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Yeah, it's probably 2 sets of racks. Get Roshan, walk down the bottom lane. Sounds about like the next 5 minutes, I think, for Hellbear Smashers.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Anti-Key and Fervian trying to do the best they can to push them back. It's not really happening. Gilga gets through the Lincolns and he's able to find the catch. There comes the Shackle. Fervian does offer at the Impair to provide Anti-Key the safety. Turns around with the Sonic Wave, pushing them all back. The Stormer commits with the BKB. Ace runs down Fervian. Stormer turns towards Anti-Key, they nuke him down as they're getting kill after kill. Ace is getting very low here, but the Cold Embrace comes out. The heals provided by Tofu, keeping Ace alive as they'll make sure that they lose nobody on Hellbear Smashers. And they're getting a lot now from No Bounty Hunter. 17k lead. There's 2 buybacks having to come out for No Bounty Hunter just to try and push away Hellbear Smashers, and they will do so, but just not able to get anything out of this fight as now they're just starting to fall very far behind No Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, this really is deja vu from the first series, man. It's like the team that has inferior team fight, one mess up results in that. You know, that's the problem.
On mid,
in the game.
Boundless into the catch there.
Queen of Pain.
Great angle there with the Shackle shot to catch him off the creeps. You got Khan trying to come in with the BKB, but he can't do it on his own. There's no Queen of Pain for 2 minutes. The chase is there for Stormer, running Khan back to the fountain. As Khan will make it back to safety, but still such a long time for the damage to be done now as Hellbear Smashers are in onto the tier 4s. No buybacks on the 3 dead on No Bounty Hunter. They have a fortification. They will have Blink back in the game in 10 seconds. Of course, Ace with this Aghanims taking down the tier 4s at incredible speed. Wukong's command is out. There's the grab from Gilga, and there's the GG. They'll tap out of this one, No Bounty Hunter, as Hellbear Smashers. They'll take game 2. And with that, the series is there. This